This is what no one wants to talk about. It's easy to create content to sit behind a screen and hope that you'll reach the masses. It's much harder to look someone in the eye and to ask for the sale. But that is what gives you the intimate understanding of your ideal client that then factors into a content strategy that is effective. We have to be careful that we aren't operating our businesses out of entitlement, just waiting for people to come to us, feeling like we're owed that just because we put a post on Instagram. I have messages that I can now trace to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000+ in sales. What would have happened if I never sent that message? Wouldn't have as much money in the bank account, I can tell you that much. I'm not trying to burst your bubble, but they lied to you. Content doesn't convert. A sales strategy does. It's an unpopular opinion, but content converting, that phrase specifically, is not the full picture, and it can actually be very misleading for a lot of creators, influencers, and specifically and most importantly, business owners. When I started my first business back in 2017, I was posting 10 to 14 times every single week for 1 to 2 years, and I was driving no profit. Today, I post 1 to 3 times a week, and I run a 6-figure business. That story is not just my own, by the way. There are countless other entrepreneurs that have the same exact story. Somewhere along the way, we gave into the lie that being seen, going viral, having all eyes on us equates to success, business growth, or money in the bank. But the truth is that content creates awareness. A sales strategy is what actually results in money in the bank. The perspective shift that I want you to have today is that content is not a sales strategy. It's a part of your larger sales ecosystem. Like I said, content creates awareness. It also goes a long way to create trust, rapport, but it is not the end all be all conversion point. And if you are a service provider looking to sell mid to high ticket offers, you have to have a sales strategy in place that goes beyond content. And if you don't, you will be seen. Come hell or high water, you'll be seen, but you will always be capped from a revenue perspective. I've worked with countless business owners who have had collective audiences across platforms of hundreds of thousands of people. We're talking 300,000+ people, and they cannot land a sale. A $47 product, they can't sell it. I've also worked with people who have an audience of less than 1,000, posting a couple times a week, not going viral, and they have 6-figure businesses. So it goes to show that content alone does not equal sales. Visibility alone does not equal revenue. We know this, yet subconsciously, we convince ourselves that creating more content, producing more content, being glued to our phones somehow equates to business growth because you know what? It feels productive to create content. It gives you a rush of dopamine to create something, post it, and see who looks at it, see who likes it. It is a lot more fun to do that than have a one-on-one sales conversation. So right now, you're probably in a position where you're producing a good amount of content. And maybe you would even say that you spend 60 to 80% of your time creating content. But your clientele isn't where you want it to be. Your revenue isn't where you want it to be. Maybe you're someone who feels like you're speaking into the void. You're tired of fighting against the algorithm. Or maybe you find yourself in a place where you're getting good views. Maybe you're having posts go viral, but it's not translating into clientele. Regardless of where you find yourself, this is not a content gap. This is a sales gap. There is a difference. So your content isn't converting because you're looking at it as the end-all conversion point, when in reality, it is just a small part of your larger sales ecosystem. The purpose of content is to create awareness and to build trust, but it isn't a sales strategy. Now, a heavy reliance on content produces several things. It leads to a specific posture that I've seen on repeat in business owners. It looks like hoping, wishing, and waiting for clients to come to you. That isn't a strategy. If we're really honest, that's entitlement. And I share that from a heart posture of I've been there, I get it, and this used to be me. For years, I shared content. I created intricate pieces of content as best as I could because I am no content queen. That's Jordan, our community manager, and all things lead creative on everything. But I created so much content. I shared all the behind the scenes. I edited the photos. I worked on the captions. And somehow, for some reason, it didn't translate over into sales. And I just thought that if I kept posting, if I kept sharing, then people would just come to me. It's a lot easier to just sit back and wait for people to come to you than it is to make yourself available to serve people, to speak to people, to look someone in the eye and ask them, how can I help you? That is what it takes to grow a business. That is what it takes to scale a business. If you aren't willing to do that, then how do you expect to effectively sell to the masses? This is what no one wants to talk about. It's easy to create content to sit behind a screen and hope that you'll reach the masses. It's much harder to look someone in the eye and to ask for the sale. But that is what gives you the intimate understanding of your ideal client that then factors into a content strategy that is effective. My clients that have effective content strategies that now don't only sell services one-to-one, but they sell passive income products to masses, have mastered selling on the one-to-one individual basis first. That gives them a tremendous amount of market research that then factors into the content they share. We have to be careful that we aren't operating our businesses out of entitlement, just waiting for people to come to us, feeling like we're owed that just because we put a post on Instagram. What would it look like if you showed that you were interested in your people? What would it look like if you reached out to individuals in your community to introduce yourself, to see how things are going, to keep track of their launches, their products, what they're building, and to cheer them on along the way? What would it look like if you started asking for the sale on a more consistent basis? I can tell you what would happen. Your sales would become more predictable and you would feel more peace. So now that we know content is not a sales strategy, what are the bare bones of a sales strategy? I'm going to keep this very simple for you today. A sales strategy has several specific phases to it. First, outreach. You have to find a way to get seen, to get in front of that client. The second is nurture, fostering relationship, building trust. And then the third is pitching. Yes, you're going to ask for the sale. Yes, you're going to make yourself available to personally get invested in that person, share insight, and invite them to learn more about working with you. And then on the back end of these phases, you'll also have retention, which we'll talk about in another video. The best content strategy is always accompanied by an outbound marketing strategy. I pulled the actual definition of this so you know very clearly what this is, and you can start formulating how you can implement this into your business. This is a traditional business approach where a company initiates contact by pushing messages out to potential buyers. Instead of waiting for leads to find the brand, the business uses direct outreach, such as cold email, paid ads, cold calls, which this emphasizes the cold part a lot more than I do. I don't do any cold outreach. Nonetheless, it uses direct outreach to generate immediate awareness and sales. I want you to notice a couple of words. Direct. This is the most direct path to get in front of your people. Content takes more time. Content is indirect. Content can be passive. An outbound marketing strategy is direct. The other phrase, immediate awareness. They see your face, they see your name, they see your logo. They don't have to wait for the algorithm to push your content because you're in their messages. Now, I teach this in a way where you aren't doing any cold messaging. You are nurturing relationships, priming people to trust you, to like you, to know you, so that when you get to your pitch, it's a no-brainer. Our students have a very, very high conversion rate to their sales calls and from their sales calls because we have a strong nurture process in place that precedes the pitch. But to each their own, everyone has their own outbound approach. That's just mine, and that's what I teach. But this is what I want to encourage you with. I have a challenge for you. I dare you to talk to your people. Get interested enough to speak to people. Get invested enough to listen to people. Don't just wait for them to find you. Don't just wait for them to come to you. I have messages that I can now trace to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 plus in sales. What would have happened if I never sent that message? Wouldn't have as much money in the bank account, I can tell you that much. So my challenge to you is this. Over the next 7 days, create a little bit less content and go speak to more people. Go start planting some seeds. Show people that you're interested in them. And I can promise you'll see a correlation in your sales. And if selling still feels like a foreign language to you that you just don't get, you resist it, that the thought of doing this is making your skin crawl, I want you to click the link in the description box, take our free sales quiz, and it's going to clarify the unique way that you were designed to sell so that you can very organically, naturally, and authentically turn relationships into predictable revenue. Once you take the quiz, I'll send you a private audio and we'll take it from there. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video. Quick, easy, boom. Quick, easy, boom. I did a 10-minute YouTube. I did a 10-minute YouTube because Jordan told me to try it. Because Jordan told me to try it. Can you tell? It's the end of the day. It's the end of the day, and I have brain cell left. All right, I gotta get out of here.